This is Newcap News with Nerman Esau.
Good evening. It was quite the shocking scene this weekend at a home located just north of Lloydminster. A plane crashed to the ground, then slid into the side of a home. The pilot was pronounced dead on scene. Now, he was flying in from High River, dropping off country singer George Canyon for a charity concert here in the border city. Now, our Annika Notvate sat down with the homeowner and a neighbor and reports on how both are trying to comprehend what exactly happened on Saturday.
I was shocked when I first got the text messages and the phone calls. We were in Helmond playing hockey at the time, so pretty shocked.
Gladys Newlove Hyde didn't want to go on camera when thinking about the horrific crash that happened just steps from her front door. Debris from a single-engine plane that crashed into the side of her home littered her yard. She and her family were not home at the time, but her 16-year-old son was.
He thought that vandals had entered the house because everything that was on that wall and on the shelves fell, and his room is right beneath.
She said that her son ran outside only to see the plane on fire.
He took shovels, and I believe the neighbors and him were attempting to extinguish the fire. Joanna Segberg lives just down the road from the scene. She said she saw the crash from her living room window.
A fiery streak that from the explosion it went down, and then just before you get to the next bunch of trees there was actually the last place the last explosion went.
She says she didn't hear anything, but noticed the bright explosion above the tree line and didn't know what it was.
I at first kept trying to, what was it? Could it have been the well that's over in that direction that exploded? That does happen. A pipeline could have caused a streak of flames, but what the next explosion would have been was beyond me because it was lower to the ground.
The Transportation Safety Board of Canada is in town to investigate. Right now, they say it's too early to determine a cause.
Today is just the beginning of our investigation, and we call it the field phase. And at this part of the investigation, we're dedicated to collecting what we call perishable information, or the information that can change rapidly over time.
He says pieces of the aircraft will be sent to Edmonton for further examination.
Now, homeowners say the accident could have been so much worse. They aren't concerned with the damage to their home, but are saddened by the loss of life in their backyard.
The house doesn't matter to us, but the damage, of course, for the pilot and for his family is what's really affected us. So just the fact that a tragedy happened at all, and then right here, has been disturbing for my family.
Annika Notvate, Newcap News.
And as we mentioned earlier, country singer George Canyon and his road manager were passengers on that very same airplane. Now, they were dropped off at the Lloydminster airport for a charity gig here in the border city. Newcap News caught up with Canyon's management team. Jim Cressman says the country singer is taking the news hard, as the pilot, Bill Loves, is well known to him.
Devastated. The pilot was a friend of his. The only reason he didn't cancel his engagement last night with the Huron Carol was because, A, it's for a charity, and B, George is the show must go on kind of guy, and so no matter what the circumstances, he doesn't believe in letting his fans down. It's just so sad that this pilot and his family have to endure this going into the Christmas season. Enduring at any time would be rough, but this will always be a tough reminder for them, I'm sure.
Meanwhile, George Canyon has released a statement. In it, he says, quote, "I have just lost a dear friend who was not just an aviation buddy. Now, we shared an interest in sports and often played hockey together. He and I have flown many times all over the place. I'm devastated with the news, and my prayers and thoughts are all with his family and friends," end quote.